Join us on Now We Consume. Take in the knowledge, take in the laughs, indulge in the topics with us. The Now We Consume podcast will take you through the parts of your day you normally dread. Why suffer through the existential crisis of life alone when you can do it with us? And now we consume.
This is not meant to be a conspiracy episode or podcast, but we may cover some topics that dance that line like a toddler dances on their mother's last nerve. This podcast is rated I, for immature audiences only.
Welcome to the Now We Consume podcast, the show that crawls deep into the foulest corners of the world that reeks of splintered hulls, melted insulation, and half-cooked contraband, raining down like toxic confetti. The smell alone could peel the paint off a wall. Scorched chemicals, roasted rubber, and that unmistakable stink of desperation gone very, very wrong. We're here to sift through the charred mess, the criminal stupidity, the human fallout, and the shortcuts that make these fireballs inevitable. So tighten your respirator, keep your stomach steady, and step around the smoldering debris, because once we start poking around at the wreckage, things tend to ooze. I'm your host, Pip, here with my co-hosts, Gibbles and Gibbs.
Hi.
Hi.
All I can think of now, for some reason, it's a shirt that says, "Stand back, I tend to ooze." I don't know why, but just when you said that last thing.
Oh, yeah, stand back, I tend to ooze.
Stand back, I leak. I'm good with it. We should put that up on our merch store when we launch that.
Oh my God. Oh, I gotta start working on that. That's a side.
Yes.
Never mind.
We'll get there.
Yes.
So, welcome once again to the Now We Consume podcast. I want to take a quick second to thank everybody for last week's show. We did push that via some ads, and welcome to all the new listeners, all the new followers. We literally can't do this without you guys. I mean, we could. It just would be less worth it.
Be very lonely.
Yes, like my nights.
Yeah.
I wish I looked
It's like my gaming room.
Yes. But I do want to take a second and remind people that we do have a partnership, sponsorship, whatever you want to call it, with Dubby Energy. I did mention that last week, and I will put a link in the show notes or the show description tonight so you guys can find out where to go to get yourself some of that stuff.
I'm still waiting for mine.
It should. I think they had some shipping issues. But yeah, because I had ordered some more and I still don't have it. So they've got something going on.
Of that?
Yes. I love it. I didn't want to like it as much as I do, damn it, but I guess we'll see. It fully has replaced my rain habit.
That's wild.
Yeah. I was a rain a day, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, Consume 10 is our code. You get yourself 10% off, and yeah, we get a little bit of a kickback for that, but it does help the show because everything we get, we're putting right back into making the show better. So,
can we do a shirt that says "A W a day keeps the rain away"?
Awesome. I like that. I don't see why we couldn't. So, moving on from that, we're going to dig into the episode this evening. Real quick, I do want to give a shout out. We'll go ahead and put the link up too. If you're watching on the video, the hoodie I'm wearing tonight came from a very good friend of mine's shop, and we'll have the link to that shop in the show description as well. So we'll push that for you.
Yeah, check out below.
Yes. All hail the Tism hoodie. The hoodie is a raccoon wizard. The hoodie says, "'Twas the Tism, my lord." So it's quite comfortable, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on the hoodie actually. So it's great. But yeah, so tonight's episode, we've seen a lot of fun shit going on in the world. The president has been touching tips with some vessels in other countries, taking out some drug boats, and going back for war crimes to make sure there are no survivors. So Gibbs brought this one up tonight, so I'll let him take the front chair on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that I know we've been steering away from politics a little bit. This one's kind of more of a talk on foreign policy and kind of a discussion with there. But basically, we're starting a conversation recent months. Basically, the U.S., you can either say Coast Guard, you could say military, whatever you want to call it, but basically it's from the executive branch, have been destroying boats in international waters. I'm using the words destroying boats because really, technically, the target has been the boats that are transporting either drugs, illegal substances, or things rather than the people, as per the paperwork. But we'll go over that in a little bit.
They're just collateral.
Yeah.
Effectively, yes, but that's part of the wider discussion. But questions have been mounting over the legality for a wave of U.S. strikes on alleged drug boats in the Caribbean Sea. They've been killed. There's been roughly 80 people that have been killed by this, which is part of why this is becoming really big international news. Because normally, yes, don't get me wrong, the U.S. military is very good at killing innocent people. We are exceedingly good at that.
Yeah.
Especially under the guise of it being legal, when sometimes it's not, or very much in this case, a gray area. But this is something, I don't want to say out of the normal, but I think it's because we're doing so much less abroad that when this is the only thing we're doing that's in the mainstream media, people tend to focus on it. Especially, let's be honest, it's the holidays. It's such a slow news cycle that of course they're gonna have, really focus on this. If we were in the middle of a big election season, this wouldn't have even made like the lower chyron at a news station. So something to consider.
I don't know. I think it would have, only because it's showing that such and such doesn't value human life, maybe.
Yeah, but the only problem with that is the Democrats couldn't use it because you have Obama that was doing the same thing when he was in.
They don't want to talk about that, though.
Well,
I know. I'm just saying.
This is part of the wide-ranging discussion I wanted to have. I definitely want to hear from people in the comments as well, because this is one of those things that we've been doing this for, honestly, really since World War II, since post-World War II, but really in the last 20, 25 years. Really, once we had drones that could effectively operate, really around the mid to late 2000s, like 2005 to 8, even 10, that's when we started seeing massive drone strikes. And honestly, this is one of those things that Obama was kind of known for.
A drone strike a day, yeah.
Dude, it is scary how many people were killed by Obama drone strikes. And don't get me wrong, Trump did the same thing, just like, but even Bush did a little bit, just like Biden. But part of the discussion I wanted to ask was, do we, as a country, have a right to destroy objects, whether it be boats or people, into international waters? Now, let me paint the context here. These targets have all been related to either cartels or international drug smuggling. And almost all those targets have been listed with Tren de Aragua, which is listed as a terrorist organization. That's the framing I want to put around this. Because if it wasn't this, then I think it would be a different argument. So my question to you two is, do you think we have the right to destroy those boats in international waters that are outside of our jurisdiction?
Gibble, do you want to take it first?
Well, I will say, since we haven't ratified anything when it comes to the law of the sea and stuff like that, we're not holding ourselves to the same standards like other countries want to be. So, I mean, we can kind of, just like anyone else on the planet, do whatever the hell we want. But from what I understood, that usually anytime like a crime that's committed on international waters or any kind of action, be it legal or not, usually it falls under the jurisdiction of whoever owns that boat. So if it's coming out of Venezuela, it's up to Venezuela to go, hey, you shouldn't do that. They're not U.S. citizens.
I would like to say that if we have any kind of confirmation of where the boat may be going, and if we have confirmation of the cargo, especially with things like known drugs or something of that order, drugs, weapons, whatever, then I think it's in the purview of self-preservation and best interest of the public at large to prevent that cargo from reaching the shores of the U.S. Whatever intel they may have as to where that cargo is going, once they have confirmed that it is drugs and or weapons, I think, yes, they do have the, I don't want to say obligation, but maybe authority to prevent that cargo from reaching any shores, unless it's like military aid that's being used in a conflict that's, preventing some kind of genocide or something like that. But Because I mean, yeah, you could use drugs as a chemical warfare, but I mean that's even outlawed by the Geneva Checklist. But still, the the methodology of taking out the boats as they're getting underway and whatnot, if they want to do it in a way that gives the people on board a chance of survival, then maybe if they want to focus more on just disabling the boats and maybe trying to focus less on the actual killing of the people on board, okay, maybe. But you don't always have that option. Depending on the ship that's doing the engagement, you may or may not have the ability to engage in a manner that prevents a return fire of some kind and puts your people in harm's way. So when you're taking on that kind of an operation, you've got to be ready to just incur the most amount of wrath that ensures the least amount of damage or collateral damage to everybody involved. Sometimes that means people just die.
Yeah, because you answer what my follow-up question was going to be is, do we have an obligation basically to use non-lethal force? And I agree with your assessment there, where if it's possible, sure, but if you're going to be risking your people, it's not worth it for somebody that if you have clear evidence or clear intel information that this is someone that's doing something very illegal or very harmful.
And I think as warfare weaponry technology improves over the next probably 10 to 15 years, maybe non-lethal becomes more of an option. Sonic weapons, drones that can incapacitate, even taser type drones. Something along those lines. Yeah, go ahead.
Don't decommission the A-10, just put a big LRAD on it.
Oh God.
just
brown note it.
You know, for those that don't know what an LRAD is, you're going to want to Google that one. But yes, I say we don't retire the A-10. We use it purely for turning around boats in international waters or on our shoreline. Just hit it with the good old burp.
Yep.
Or the boat smells. I don't know why.
You could sit there and use them to deploy like various entanglement options.
Yeah.
Nets, bolos, and whatnot.
Yeah, because we do that a lot with like the submarine ones, whatever the semi-submersible ones that the cartels use a lot.
Yeah.
But you know what? You really got magnets.
I don't know if they make them out of metal or non-magnetic stuff, but you got to give these guys some credit for ingenuity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And some brass balls, just so you can pull that off.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. Imagine being so determined to smuggle drugs that you get a bunch of old, massive air compressor oil tanks, welding them up, sticking a motor in it. Be like, bitches, we got a sub.
It's a
sub. Just a level of optimism. Like I'm not trying to glaze the cartels, but like that is some optimistic shit to do that and be like, fuck it, we're sending it, boys. Like no way. No fucking way.
We're doing it.
But the reason why I wanted to bring up this discussion is there's a huge controversy right now happening in the States here about whether these actions are legal. And I kind of wanted to go through with you guys kind of line by line, have a few discussions here and see what's the kind of consensus that we come up with this whole thing. Definitely, from what I can see, at least my opinion on that specific point, we're kind of in a bit of a gray area because technically under certain conventions, it would be considered illegal, but they are identified as being on a list of military targets. So there is kind of a way to get around that where we are allowed to do these strikes on things that are considered military targets. And the executive branch does have sole authority over military targets. I know that's one of the things that's been I guess a bit of a controversial point. They're saying, well, this wasn't approved by Congress. Well, it doesn't have to be. For anyone that says, well, these strikes aren't approved by yada. Well, if you look at it from both sides, number one, executive branch has sole authority over immigration, whether it be legal or illegal. And number two, they have sole authority over the military. So either way, Trump kind of has them covered on that one.
Plus, the president has limited authority for a certain amount of time to carry out military actions without congressional approval.
Yes.
So
it's like 90 days or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, any president can enact military action for up to 30 days before they have to seek congressional authority to extend it.
Oh, it's 30 days. Okay.
Yeah.
Could have sworn when I was growing up, I heard 90.
It might be 90.
So,
I there's been so much stuff I
90.
can't remember off the top of my head.
I thought it was 90 was like the hard limit.
Yeah.
Because that was basically a rule that was set back a long ass time ago before we had the internet or instant communication. So it used to be like I thought it was 90. I think you're right, it's 90. But anyways, my question I want to ask you two is: do we have the right to go straight to lethal force with this if we don't have 100% confirmation? If we have an idea that maybe they're transports, that maybe they might, what is the threshold for information that we have to have in order to engage these kind of boats or merchant vessels?
I would think if we know, or if there's been confirmations of previous confirmations of the place, the type of boat, the area that people are coming from, if they're confirmed to be of the same group, like the cartel or whatever is putting the people there onto the ships and whatnot, or boats rather, then I think we can forego a certain amount of due process. But there really should be some sort of confirmation of cargo before you just launch straight into it. The last thing you'd want is to find out that, oh, we thought it was a drug boat. It turned out to be human aid or medical aid or something.
Exactly.
It's a truck full of babies.
Oh, the jokes I can make, but I can't make them on Twitch. Anyways, so the other question I want to have, and this is something that I think I haven't heard anyone else mention. Are we concerned that the same excuses and the same things could happen to American citizens traveling abroad or going other places? Where if we're noticing it's mostly the U.S. government going after, obviously, drug cartels coming from, south of the border, places like, Venezuela and things like that. I guess my question is, if it's legal for the U.S. to destroy these ships without a 100% verification, are we worried about that happening to American citizens? Or even possibly maybe we might have CIA or FBI assets that are not fully disclosed.
Yeah.
Are we treading those
There
waters?
is that. Yeah, you're always treading those waters because we don't know what's going on a daily basis on the global stage. So you're always going to have that risk. That's why there's warning lists of what countries you can and can't go to, or not so much that you can't go to them, but it'd be advisable not to as an American citizen. So is there a risk? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with Gibbles on that.
Okay. So, I think we're all in agreement with there. Here is one of the questions I wanted to propose to you two. And I kind of want to think about this one, which is for people that are traveling, particularly, let's just say if you're traveling near China or Russia or Taiwan or civilian vessels or anything like that, do you think something like this, to where they're going to say, well, the U.S. has been able to blow up ships, to them they might say indiscriminately or whatever they deem. Will this be the case of something like World War I or World War II, like the sinking of Lusitania, where it'll just be, hey, we're going to have an American ship somewhere out in the Pacific that's going to get hit, and some country's going to claim, well, they were carrying drugs, they were doing this, doing that, and that escalates the situation in the Pacific? Do you think something like that's possible?
Possible, yes. Probable, I don't know. It depends on the rest of the climate in the area.
Yeah.
Fair.
There's always extenuating circumstances to it.
Okay.
But historically, if you have American boat with Americans on said boat and that something happens to that boat, historically, we overcompensate.
Just a little bit.
We're a little touchy with our boats.
Yes.
That's a sore subject with us. Fair.
Shit. Today, talking about touching our boats, today is that day.
Oh!
Today is the day our boats got touched. Damn it.
Yep.
Today. Oh wow. Okay. So,
I just looked down and saw that. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So today is definitely the day. Don't touch our boats today. I know it's already over by the time you're seeing it, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the official "Do Not Touch Our Boats" day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is the official no touchy the water. Stay out. Everyone else out of the pool. This is America's Day of the pool.
And historically, even before that, we were all anti "Don't touch our boats." I mean, look at how the Navy responded before it was really the Navy. And we went to the Middle East and destroyed all the pirates.
Yeah.
So before Congress could even be notified what we were doing, we come back with all these boats and stuff and said, yeah, there is no more pirate problem.
Let me sidetrack for just a second. I know piracy is still happening today. I feel like that is something people should pay to be able to go and do as anti-piracy stuff, because there are, or be paid better to do, because there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of people that would be very capable of being put up on boats and ships to repel pirates in international
and clearly
waters.
There's a market for something like that when you have people that were paying to go human hunting in third world countries, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So I guess here's my other question now. With the killing and destruction of these boats from cartel members and terrorists, do you think that's going to embolden some companies to actually hire like armed guards and personnel and actually start defending their shit? Because the amount of times I see these boats,
they should
go through international waters and all they have is a fucking hose, and it's like, really, you have a ship that's worth like $1 billion. You're gonna protect it with fucking water? That's not gonna work out that well, buddy. Like, yeah, sure, sometimes it works out if they have like a dinghy.
You know what that leads to? That leads to, look at me, I'm the captain now. That's what that leads to.
Great movie. Was it Captain Phillips? Was that the name of that one?
Captain Phillips.
Good movie. But I wonder if this is going to open up legally, where a lot of companies are going to say, hey, if the U.S. is allowed to just drop a bomb, maybe we can have some guys with a few rifles. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it would pay rather well, too.
I feel like it'd be fun.
Well, you would have a lot of former military folks signing up hand over fist. Because A, they've already got the training. B, they could handle it. And C, it's not going to cause them any more PTSD because they've already got PTSD. This is going to be a way for them to vent.
It's target practice at range. That's all that is.
You're just shooting at boats.
Yeah.
Just carry enough ammo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's going to be the biggest
Deep
issue.
sea hunting. Oh, yeah.
You're going to spend more money on ammo than you are salaries, like at that point. But could be worth it. Or maybe that's why you just run all 22s and just sink their boat. Imagine that's the most cost efficient way. You just get like a 22 minigun. Boats. And you're just like, hey,
Sorry.
The pea shooter from hell.
Why spend $20 a round? Well, I could spend $20 for 1,000 rounds. Actually, how much would that be? How much would that be for
about $40, give or take, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So I haven't looked at 22 in a while.
Just saying. All it takes a couple of those to sink a dinghy, Or
you mount a 25 millimeter machine gun, and it takes about one round.
Yeah.
I know that from experience.
Kaboom.
It wasn't a dinghy, it was a speedboat, but that's a story.
Was it like a fragmentation round, or was it just like a slug?
Incendiary AP.
Oh, nice. Yes. They get to see what it's like to be in the depths of hell for 0.3 seconds before they exploded. Oh man, this is how you get to be well done in a casket.
Hey,
there's no casket at sea.
Well, does the dinghy that gets wrapped around you as you're sinking to the bottom count?
They're all shrapnel.
Oh.
Yeah. So okay, I had to engage a speedboat while I was in the military.
Fair.
Second round hit the front of it, and it kerbluied. And speedboats aren't supposed to kerblooey when rounds hit that part of the speedboat. So.
There were things on board.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was.
Yes, there was. Along with the three guys that were on board. So the fish ate well that day.
I bet they did.
Wow.
Yes.
You know, he just became the quickest Uber Eats for the sharks. In the My God. He just...
And he still didn't get a tip.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Shark is like, I'll give you a tip if you come in the water and I'll tell you about it.
Yes, I do miss running that 25 millimeter machine gun. It was like 76 rounds a minute, I want to say. So I mean, it wasn't the, well, yeah, but I mean,
that's all you need.
It literally felt like an orgasm every time that thing fired. Oh my
God. See why you're so tired after an 8-hour shift. I would be too.
I don't need it.
Yeah, I still have some of the. I still have some of the casings from that event.
And you never. All right, I'm kind of mad.
I'm sorry, it never came up.
You never even mentioned that.
I'm sorry.
A little salty. Not gonna lie.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Well, you are a well-marbled person, so you should be salty.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So, I guess the other question I want, now we're going to go back to the original topic.
Uh-huh.
The other question I want to ask you is by the fact of being labeled as part of Tren de Agua, or Aragua, however you say it, Tren de Aragua, or really any other criminal organization, is that in itself enough to justify being shot in the water? Or do you have to have proof of another illegal action, or just being part of a terrorist organization or being an associate? Is that enough, do you think?
Gibbles, this is more your realm.
Well, if we're talking about U.S. law, then you still gotta have intent. Because anytime you have the FBI arrest anybody, they always talk about what the intent was. I mean, but when it comes to national defense overseas, anything at the border of the United States on out, it really just like we've talked about before, it's what does the commander in chief have to say?
Okay.
And I found out it's at 60 days with a 30-day extension.
So
is what
90.
the president has.
That might have been
it does go out to
where
90.
I got the 30 days from.
Yeah. So yeah, the president has 60 days to say, okay, well, this is going on. I'm defending our country from it. Blah, blah, blah. After 60 days, he can ask for an extension, but they're only going to give another 30 days before finally they have to rule, okay, is this a military action that we need to continue, or is this something that we need to stop now?
So I guess what I'm hearing from you guys is it's conditional. Is what I'm hearing. Is once you get enough information, everything. So there's no steadfast 100% rule that 100% of the time, yep, destroy them all or never. I'm not here. Okay, so you two are actually agreeing with, I think, what, honestly, most people that I have seen, because over the weekend I've been keeping up with this story and I've been watching the news from all sides trying to figure it out. I've heard some people say, and I think this kind of stupid, say, fuck them, just blow them all up, which is like, all right, chill. But I've heard some people say on the opposite end of the spectrum, that's like, well, no one deserves to die over that. It's like, well, at the same point, and not for nothing, if you're drug trafficking fentanyl into the country, I have zero sympathy for you if you sleep with the fishes. So I think I would agree with you that really, at the end of the day, it's really information. It's really gathering enough information to really justify, hey, this is worth taking down.
Not to also put out there, but the fact that, if you're talking about the drug pusher that's right inside the city of the United States, like downtown Detroit, that's still different than this jackass that's coming off the coast of Venezuela. We're nowhere near the United States, in that instance. So you're also talking about two different scenarios completely. Like, okay, what happens outside the United States isn't always our jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if we did something, sure, but it's still, as I said before, it's still going to constitute whether it's considered a crime, and then who's it a crime against. You're going to have other countries that would have to get involved, let alone the country that currently right now is getting their drug boys taken out. So
So I think I would agree with you that it also does. People need to realize too that we don't, as a country, because they're outside of our borders, we also don't owe them the same rights that they would do
absolutely not
within our borders. That is a very defining factor that I think a lot of people, particularly a lot of the news media, are not fully understanding. Because a lot of the arguments I keep seeing is, well, no one deserves, they should go to trial, they should go to this. And I'm like, go to trial. They're like out in the middle of the fucking Atlantic. Like, or they're in the Caribbean. Like, there is no trial. Or the local courthouse by the fucking turtle that's swimming by. No, that's not how this fucking works. Absolutely not.
They'd be like getting robbed in China and expecting to go to a, courthouse in freaking downtown San Francisco.
Yeah. No.
Doesn't make sense.
I have good news. Keep talking.
Okay.
Oh, he has good news.
And the reason why I was being specific about this and asking this
cookies
is because there are some rules called the LOAC, or the Laws of Armed Conflict. I think that's important because in a typical situation where, like, boots on the ground, you're in a military environment, stuff like that, or an engagement zone, there are different rules than maritime LOAC, which specifically would state, and I quote, enemy merchant vehicles are liable to attack, and since they're considered enemy combatants because they're part of a terrorist organization, all these strikes are legal. And not only that, they don't have to have oversight or approval from Congress. Would you both agree with that, or do you have any different?
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely agree with it if they had ratified it.
Exactly. So
they actually took the time to ratify some of these freaking treaties and laws that they keep referencing. I'd be all for it, but they don't ratify the crap. So they're like, oh, well, we have to abide by some crazy, law of the sea or whatever. No, we don't, because guess what? We never ratified it. Yeah, the president said, yeah, we should do this. Until, again, when everybody talks about how Congress has rules to do this and that, until Congress and the Senate sign off on stuff, we're not obliged to deal with any of that.
Yeah.
So
essentially, it's like all no holds barred. U.S. can do what it wants until we put ourselves against that treaty.
I was going to say, you didn't fall for the trap because I was purposely trying to set you up on that one. So, yep, Pip.
Oh, he's got it.
My God,
this is the shell casing. It is quite girthy. Yes. This was the shell casing that took out that boat.
Nice.
That's a lot of powder.
Yeah. 25
Next
millimeter.
time I'll have to pull out my bag of cookies next week.
Yeah. So.
Jesus.
So if anybody that's watching, that is the shell casing I used to take out the speedboat. The bullet stuck out probably about like that.
It's supposed to be a little bit more than that. It's an A10 round, right?
No.
A10's 30 mil.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. 25. I'm looking at. You're right. Sorry. I should have known that.
The Gal 8. That thing's glorious. Nice memories.
Yep.
Man. How many yards did you shoot him out at? What was it, like?
350, I think.
Can we get a picture of that round with the rifle and just say Kurt Cobain POV 300 yards? Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, I'm sorry to sidetrack, but
no, that's cool. I'm glad you have that.
Yeah. I also have
getting you in contact with God.
I also have a belt, a linkage set from the 20 mil that I got to fire. I got to stand outside when they were test firing it, probably 6 or 8 feet away. I had triple hearing protection. That thing rattled every bone in my body. Good old Sea Whiz.
Outside of M61A1, pulling the trigger. That's done. What do you mean it's done? It's already fired everything. Fuck.
Yes. Okay. So I'm sorry to sidetrack us. Let's get back on topic.
No, it's okay. So the reason why I wanted to bring up LOAC is because you're 100% right, Gibbles. This is something I have heard brought up by literally every single news organization because this comes up in a Google search if you look it up. Mm-hmm. Why? Oh, because there was a BBC article about 2 months ago, maybe a little bit less than that, maybe like a month and a half, that mentioned LOAC. And when I searched about these and legality, that came up at least 90% of the time. So what I wanted to bring up here is when everybody tells you about that, that works for Europe, sure, and whatever countries that sign up. I don't know all of them. But that don't include us. We have our own laws because we are not forced to sign that crap. Now, granted, I'm not saying it's bad because LOAC does have some stuff in it that I do think makes sense, but we already have some of that stuff internally for rules of engagement. So, no harm, no foul. But I just want to bring that up because, quite frankly, I've seen people flame each other online, and I think it's stupid because they're talking out of their ass. Now,
yeah, because they have no idea. They didn't take the time to read.
No, well, they just don't know.
Most don't.
You know, they read the headline.
That's true.
You know, trust me, it takes a while to read all these articles, which I get. Not everybody has the time, but that's why you go with independent journalists because some of them are really good. But what I also want to talk about here, and this was where did it show? Yes, is this is not the first, and this is not the last time that the U.S. military, the U.S. government, has been deleting people outside of our borders. And what I want to ask the two of you, it is quite simply, do you think this is something we should use to kind of springboard a discussion on what the hell has the U.S. been doing in terms of foreign affairs, really since post-World War II? Where does our authority start and stop and end? Have we been abusing it? Have we been going too far? Have we not been going far enough? Because what a lot of the rest of the world is seeing, because I spent a lot of time reading some articles from Europe, even some from Australia. I had one translated from friggin' Taiwan, which I gotta be honest with you, I feel like it gave me brain damage because it wasn't very good translated. Yeah. But what every other country is saying is that we're basically bullying.
Yeah,
and we're going too far. And I want to hear your guys' opinion on this.
I think, yes, we probably are overstepping because we very much have the mindset of we're going to do this until someone shows us that we can't.
Yeah.
There's nobody that's going to tell us otherwise. Period.
Fair.
This is what we feel has to be done. So we're going to do it. And until somebody else shows up to say, no, you're not. Well, yes, we are.
So do you think then maybe Trump should also be telling these other countries, hey, you need to police your own fucking borders. Like you guys got to get your shit in order.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what he did during his first term was telling all the European countries, guess what? You need to be paying for your own defense. We shouldn't be footing the entire bill. And then everybody got all pissy with them. And now look at Ukraine all these years later. Even though everybody will try to claim, oh, it's Trump's fault.
Yeah, no. It's one of those things where I know historically we have had a problem with our foreign policy going overboard in other countries. But I feel like in this case, especially when it comes to international waters where it's clear so many countries don't give a fuck. There are so many countries that have zero interest in doing any sort of policing internationally. Do you guys think there's any better solution that maybe at some point we can move away from America being the world police? Do you think there's a solution there or a better way of going about it?
Yes.
Or are we just kind of stuck with it?
I think once we get better AI and robots, that yes, we can stop being world police. We'll just deploy the world police for us.
So you're like Iron Man 3.
Yes.
Or Ultron. You're basically
Ultron philosophy.
Ultron, yeah.
Yes.
Or the Eternals.
No, because the Eternals sucked. We'll do Ultron. Yeah, Ultron was better.
So you would support an Ultron initiative?
I think to an extent. I just don't know that it could be done in a manner that would allow, enough oversight. Mm. And you also risk, of course, the hacking aspect and having control taken away and turned against us. But
see, I have a question for you then.
Okay.
Instead of, well, you could do an Ultron type thing, but you just basically use security like surveillance drones, and you essentially find people to where when they land in another country, all of a sudden all their information's there, everything's uploaded, and they're like, "Hey, you were traveling illegally with this shit. We're not going to kill you, but you owe me carry the $1 million. So anything that you have in there, you're now seized. It's forfeited, and we're sending you back if you do it again. You know, the second time is not going to be so nice." My question to you is, do you think there'll be a way of doing it where either, number one, people pay some sort of penalty for trying that stuff, or do you go the other route and say, screw it, arm those drones with guns, and then be like, you crossed the line?
So I don't think you arm them with guns. I think you arm them with methods of suppression that are exceedingly painful. Because pain, when applied properly, is a very effective way to deter things.
So large speakers playing Taylor Swift music, that'll do it.
And Baby Shark.
Yeah, but yes.
Oh, fuck you. No, that's a Geneva Convention. No, that's too
Geneva
far.
checklist.
No.
Yeah, that hasn't been applied to a checklist yet. We're good.
Yet.
Maple syrup people haven't gotten their hands on it.
Maple syrup people.
Oh my god.
At least you didn't say the other phrase from our Discord.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I've been told to behave myself a little more.
Yes. You're doing good. Good gibbles. Good gibbles.
Yay.
Oh man. So I guess that's what I was wondering with the AI Ultron thing though. I do wonder with the policing internationally, is that could be something to where maybe NATO or UN is going to come together at some point and be like, look, every country outside of like 100 miles outside of their physical borders where it becomes internet. Was it 250? Is it 250 or is it 100?
Depends on who you ask. Some people say like it's 12 miles. Some people say 200 miles.
Well, whatever it is, they should do a standardized like 100 kilometers, 100 miles, whatever the fucking unit they want to use. Just be like anything outside that's international, that's subject to international law. Here's the laws. Case closed. Done deal.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll ever do it?
No, because I think there's too many people in the right places getting paid.
Yeah.
Or getting supplied with underage people and drugs.
Oh.
Yeah, I said the thing out loud.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's
come to my house.
There's more than one Epstein.
I dare you.
Ooh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Epstein wasn't the only one. So that's
yeah.
There's many more to find. It's like at Pokemon, you got to catch them all. So with the Epsteins, not the kids. The Epsteins. That's two different things. Let's see.
Oh my goodness, our Twitch.
I don't even want to know.
No, you do not.
But I think besides that, honestly, you two answered the questions that I had way more quickly than I honestly anticipated.
Never underestimate the level of tism in this group.
Yeah, I expected the three of us honestly to be have more like different opinions than I would have thought.
So let me kind of go off on a tangent here for a second.
Yes.
I fully support the thoughts and ideas of protecting people from getting the drugs on our shores. We know, especially with fentanyl, good God, if I could just Thanos snap my fingers and get fentanyl off this planet, at least in the drug case, I would do it. That has caused more accidental deaths than any other drug, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
The bad part is it's a great medication.
Yeah.
When it's used properly.
Yeah.
Used appropriately.
So there's that fine line again. But it just like a firearm. It's a great tool when used properly. So you have a really hard time making that argument. But when you've got people who are going to abuse the system like that and get it into the drug supply like they are, cocaine, meth, heroin, whatever, and they're intentionally overdosing people like this, the people who are most susceptible are going to be the recipients, not the people supplying it. So you've got people who are just in a bad spot in life. I have never been on the spot of life of seeing addiction that up close other than when I was an EMT. So I know addiction is a disease.
It is.
I don't feel like it's something that people can just easily walk away from. And I know that it is one of the hardest things to get over, especially with shit like heroin, because you use it once, you are chemically addicted.
It's the same with PCP.
Yeah. So,
and I believe like meth might be another one where
meth, I think, is once or twice. Yeah. But you're in there. Yeah. We don't have the support services for the people that want to get the help they need.
No.
So realistically, cutting off the supply is literally the best option. Now, they're going to go through the DTs if this happens, best case scenario, but people can be saved from DTs.
Yeah.
So here's my question to you then. Because I have several different solutions for this one, but how do you think we should be handling and holding these countries accountable for allowing or supporting the manufacture and distribution of these drugs, especially when the intent is to distribute and sell in this country?
So a lot of the countries that are doing this fully knowledgeably. Yeah. They're doing this under the guise of, we don't know what's going on, but they're being funded from it. So you go in, you find ways to take out their cash supplies. You take out whatever support system they have that's benefiting from the money that they're getting. Then you go and you take out the supply system that they're using to get, make, and or manufacture the drugs, the logistics network, all of it. Then you start taking out the support network for any of that logistics network. And if it still doesn't stop, well, then you start taking out their infrastructure. You send them back to the 1800s if you have to. Funny enough, some of these countries still exist in the 1800s, just with some modifications. So if you have to take them back to the Stone Age, take them back to the Stone Age.
So do you think then at this point we should transition maybe the CIA in a way, almost to say, you know what, if terrorism, well, it's a problem, isn't nearly the problem as drug distribution is in this country? Do you take the CIA and say, hey, all that shit you guys have been doing for the last 40 years that works, fucking have at it? Or do we just give the DEA more resources and say, hey, we'll give you guys free reins in other countries. Do what you got to do. What's the line? What's the line? What's the line? Where do we go with this? Because I guess the problem is with what we're doing right now, it ain't helped. We've been losing the war on drugs for the last 30, 40 years. We've made essentially zero progress. Anytime we make progress anywhere, something else comes up and it's even worse. It's even worse. So what do we do?
Our biggest problem is we have no follow through.
Yeah.
After World War II, that was like the answer on how we handle anything. World War II cleanup, we did great. Anything after that, it's been an absolute shit show. You're going to send the CIA in to deal with this. We're going to have another Iran. Iran, before the CIA had got their hands on that country, was a democratic country. They were very progressive. You almost wouldn't think that was the same country if you look at the pictures from the 50s
before
to now.
Before the Arab Spring or the Arab Uprising in the late 70s, Iran was a very up and coming place.
Yeah, so the last thing we need to do is send in our spooks, because they're a bunch of morons when it comes to keeping things cleaned up. They can go in and spy and kill stuff and all that, but the problem is their follow through is terrible.
So is the real solution at this point, do we then have to start nicely annexing countries south the border, saying, starting with Mexico, just rolling tanks in there and being like, hey, we are now taking you as a territory of the U.S. and just kicking these cartels out.
Okay, listen, I am getting very tired of making Batman references in our shows, but they're getting more and more relevant. So at this point, we're now at the point of either we die the hero or we live long enough to see ourselves become the bad guy. We're approaching living long enough to become the bad guy territory, because we literally sent how many people to die in World War II to take out a dictator who was annexing land, and now that's literally the best option we have.
I was going to say it's not. I wouldn't go that route. I would say more or less, if a cartel member, goes and does something that causes a crime in the U.S., at that point you retaliate in kind, but not the objective. We're going to roll all our troops up into a country. I mean, if all of a sudden you got 30, 40 freaking, cartel members roll up into the U.S., do some dumb shit, well, guess what? We're going to have 30 or 40 specialized units roll right up and do some dumb shit on you. But our objective should not be annexing. We should not be taking anything. We should absolutely be, we should be, our objective, especially if we're still fighting the whole thing with drugs and all that. The objective is go after the people that are causing the problem. And if that means doing like what Trump's doing right now, because it's not in the U.S. that we're talking about international waters, and that's one thing. But when you're talking about something that's here in the U.S., obviously your tactics are going to be way different.
So I have an interjection. What you were saying about going after the cartels and whatnot, if they don't start calming down and playing ball a little bit, instead of just launching troop campaigns, let's just take a page out of Ukraine's book and start launching drone attacks, because those are going to be a little bit more targeted and a little less collateral, and we can focus more on where it needs to go.
We just want to be careful how much you want to bring that back to the stateside with that, though. Because that could get ugly real fast just watching the stuff of, Ukraine, Russia.
Well, look at China, because we've been talking, and I'm working on some stuff for a drone and AI type show, that, because I mean, that's one of the big things we cover here. Yeah. But yeah, some of the stuff that China has been unveiling is absolutely asshole clenchingly horrifying when it comes to their drone capabilities.
Yeah. Especially, by the way, the DJI ban is supposed to be going into effect soon, by the way.
Yeah.
So I might as well throw my shit away.
Get your drones while you can.
Did you see the dude that's got the gesture control drones now?
Yeah.
And he's got a whole fleet of them.
That was a fleet of flying swords or whatever he had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So here's my other question to you two then, because my thought has been, what if we do none of those options? What if we do the economic route and we tell these countries, hey, we're going to calculate the damage your country is doing to our country with drugs, and we are going to literally tariff you into oblivion. And that way, when you have no money and you're begging for our help, then we roll in with the tanks and military. When your citizens are asking, we have nothing left, there's no government, no anything. It seems like we're almost stuck at the point to where we can't do anything. Anything we do is going to be wrong. Or do we just say, screw it, and at least economically force some changes? Because I think at some point, I hate to be that guy. I know we don't want to have boots on the ground. No, we don't want to have to do any of these things. But if we keep this cycle up for much longer, there won't be countries left. There won't be any countries like south of our border. They're all just going to be giant, effective, states of the cartel and various cartels. And then the problem is they have so many human shields. It's basically, they're doing the Palestine method, but across the entire south of the border. So what do you do to actually solve anything? Do you just say, screw it, and use sanctions and tariffs to force those governments to say, you have to do something? Or do you hope that maybe the drone program or CIA or DEA or whoever else or special agents can make some sort of change?
I think maybe it's a combination of both. Because otherwise you're going to be left with a scorched earth policy that's going to be all that's left.
Yeah.
And
I can't be in charge, because I would have just took the gloves off and said, screw it, kill them all.
Well,
it's a little heavy-handed, but I get it. I really do.
But it would work.
Just from watching all the drug users over the years and people that have been addicted that should never have been addicted. Hell, I watched one poor woman get addicted to PCP, and it wasn't even her fault. She got a cigarette from a friend who dipped it in PCP, handed it to her, and now she's addicted to it, even though she had no intention of smoking it.
But you know what, though? I feel that's a failing of also a lot of our cities not enforcing drug policies. And this is part of the problem, I think, domestically. Maybe something I didn't consider before, but we have to tighten up our drug enforcement domestically and have a clear delineation. Because there's some drug enforcement, quite frankly, we shouldn't be, like marijuana shouldn't be a class run drug, and there's a few other things I don't think that we should be prosecuting for. But at the same point, in a lot of major cities, we allow big time drug dealers to walk free all the time and other people to not face jail time, to not be forced to actually make a difference and serve their time, or be forced to give up information on people they were working with. Maybe it's a combination of all those things, or between domestically getting rid of as many of these people as possible, and then foreign discouraging and disincentivizing any of these things to happen in the first place.
Yeah. It's sticky. It's dark, and it's not an easy path to go down. Sorry, I was trying to get my words.
It's okay. Words are hard. But so that was at least the discussion I wanted to have with that. I'm glad I could get your guys' thoughts on that. Because, again, you both have more experience in some of the stuff in terms of traveling the world and going places and seeing different things than I do. And to be honest with you, I have zero experience with any of that stuff. All that stuff's very foreign to me. So I thought it was an interesting topic for us to kind of discuss.
Yeah.
Because there's no real solution. There's no easy solution there, Because our podcast is really good at saying, hey, here's the easy fucking solution that all of you idiots in Congress can't seem to figure out. But this is probably the one that's like, man, that's tough.
Yeah. So I did have a question that I had added into the notes.
Be the villain.
Yeah.
Are we slowly entering the area of America does war crimes, otherwise known as the Geneva checklist? Because, as was mentioned in the news articles, when we recently hit one of those drug boats, there was a second attack ordered to go after the survivors. I do not know if this has been 100% confirmed that was the intent of the attack. Go ahead.
I do have the answer on that one.
Okay,
so,
go ahead.
According to Pete Hegseth, from what I had read and from what I had heard, is their objective was to destroy the boat itself. The survivors who had jumped out of the boat then got back in the boat while the bomb and or missile was already in the air. So, because it was already on fire. So they hit it, it was on fire, they jumped out, the fire stopped, they jumped back in, and that was well after they had already hit the button to release said munition. So that one was not, that's why when I started this, I should have mentioned this whole thing, that's my fault, but when I started this conversation, I had mentioned that sometimes it's the boats that were the target, not necessarily the people. And it was that specific instance or circumstance that I was referencing that I forgot to get back to. But effectively, it was the boat. The boat was the problem. The boat had the drugs. So that was the target.
The boat had to go.
Yeah.
So then it began to ooze.
So, but no, they were not explicitly the targets. But also, not for nothing, if why would you be dumb enough? If you're on a boat carrying stuff that's illegal and it gets hit by ammunition as on fire, why do you go back in said boat?
That's the only possible chance you have of survival. I mean, if you're out in the middle of the water, it's that or sharks.
Well, for being out where they are, yeah.
It's the door issue from Titanic all over again.
I just wish I had an AI generated image of, me on vacation in the Caribbean, and just shows me like standing in a boat on fire, looking up, and there's a 500-pound bomb like 5 feet away from my face. Like, oh yes, this vacation's going really well. You don't actually have to do that. It was more like a joke, but
I can make that happen.
I know you can. So it's just one of those things where it is a tough topic, but I wanted the people at home to understand that I know we're hearing a lot of things from news media saying that all this is illegal. And quite frankly, from everything I can look at and see, 100% of what's happened or what has been ordered per the letter of the law is legal. Morally, that's a different story. It's a question of not is it legal or not, because it is. It's a question of should we, and that's a whole different. That's this discussion we've been having. But just don't let people, from the news media or other people sway you saying, "Oh, whatever's happening is illegal. This is all bullshit." It's not. It's not. And I'm sure if it was illegal, you would have to arrest so many previous presidents. It would. Particularly, got to give him credit. Obama probably has the high score on that one. The amount of people the amount of innocent people he had bombed is astronomical. So, I believe what was the old? I wish I remember the number off the top of my head, but from what I had read, we had dropped more bombs in the Middle East than we did in World War II.
Oh yeah,
and there was over a million civilians killed in the Middle East, non-combatants, for everything that happened.
Wow,
so it's like
that's a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like when you really put that into perspective, you're like, wow. And he presided over
my crew all by ourselves just in the first 6 months of the Iraqi conflict. I mean, we dropped over 1 million tonnage.
Jeez.
What were most of those? 500s or 1000s?
Thousands, 2000s. Yeah, it was a lot of GBU-12s, lot of 12s. Oh my god, did some GBU-24s in there, some 15s, Adrian 130s that were in there. It was a lot of GBU-12s.
Yeah, and for those people at home, 1,000-pound bomb will do what, like a house or two or three houses, like in a row, kind of thing.
Just one GBU-12 could pop a house, but if you're near it, you're pink mist. That's where the joke comes from. You were pink mist.
You are now past tense.
Yeah.
We'll be looking for your teeth. That's it.
Do those even survive?
Yeah, it can.
Bones
that's not a convincing.
The calcium parts can.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends on how hot it gets.
Mm-hmm. And how close you were to the.
Right. If it was hot, close enough that, it flayed away the flesh of your skin, but yet not strong enough to vaporize your teeth, it's just going to get knocked out of your mouth.
Yeah.
I know. Shouldn't know these things.
Well, I shouldn't be carrying around an image on my phone that shows how to properly prepare a human for consumption either, but I do.
I think that's like what, the 7th or 8th podcast in a row you brought that up.
I'm afraid he really wants to try it.
You're not trying it. No.
Oh.
Well, it depends if these solar storms get any worse. Who knows?
It's the ninth now.
Yeah, right.
Did you hear that they grounded an airplane?
No,
really?
I didn't.
Oh my God. So it's a developing story waiting on details, but from what I had heard earlier this morning, there's been so much in the solar storms and radiation and whatnot, there's a plane that they had to ground because they're having issues. So there's now a huge worry with the FAA being like, might have problems. So, just keep an eye on that one. That might be a one-off. Who knows? Maybe they forgot the shielding or something, or maybe there was some sort of some more sort of accident. But
yeah,
but there's been massive solar storms lately. I
can function.
Or who knows? Maybe that's an excuse for our internet going all fucky because there's so many cybersecurity attacks. Who knows? What is it? What even is real anymore? Who knows?
I'll get back to you once I find Harambe again.
Right. That brings up a topic. We have something on the docket about how real are things, talking about whether or not real life is actually a simulation or not.
I have to not say anything, or else this will be a 3-hour podcast. that I could go on for an hour.
Well, that's why we're going to do an episode on it.
Yeah, that's a
yes.
All I can say is I have some suggestions, if it is, to whoever's running this.
Somebody run the antivirus program, because holy shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Whoever's running it, can he get rid of like the random parts of you being itchy? Like whoever's the asshole that fucking did that for a simulation, I swear to God.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can do that next week if you guys want.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
There we go. All right. We'll do that.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
But
Oh
I
shit.
think does that kind of wrap us up for this week?
I think so. And I apologize because I'm pretty sure you had a much longer episode lined up.
So
but we tismed out and got most of the stuff answered.
Well, I guess I thought maybe all three of us were going to have some different opinions than we did. And that we all happened to agree basically word for word. So,
we've been friends for how long now? I mean, it was going to happen.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I figured, so maybe as someone that like, I never served in the military, I don't have the experience with any of this kind of stuff. I was hoping maybe you guys were going to bring up some stuff that was going to challenge some of my preconceived notions and like expectations. And that didn't happen.
Really?
So
yeah, no.
I was a little surprised, but I'm also not. I should have kind of planned for that, but.
Well, let me ask you this, because you were the one asking most of the questions.
Yeah.
What would you rather see happen with the drug carriers on the boats? Because I didn't really counter you.
So I will be honest. I am not a nice person when it comes to that stuff. So my threshold for proof on that, it's way fucking lower. So, to be honest, what I would like to happen, because I know we have the technology, is I'd really like to use drones a lot more. Maybe use a lot more smaller boats out there, establish a perimeter, maybe an extra 500 or 1,000 miles outside of our border with a bunch of smaller boats that have drones with a lot of surveillance. Basically use those drones to approach those boats and say, hey, if you cross this line in the next 30 or 50 nautical miles, you will be fired upon. I think notification might be a really, really big thing where it's like, hey, this is illegal. You shouldn't be doing this. If you keep doing this, you're going to go kaboom. And if they do not acknowledge or ignore that order, then you could bring a ship out or bring another bigger drone out with have some boom boom and deal with the situation.
Boom, boom.
Or even aircraft, whatever. I have no problem as well using aircraft in a more public display, shall I say. That's why I wish we had, I know aircraft carriers are really expensive, but I wish we had, like we had more World War II, where a lot of like the smaller aircraft carriers that even just carried like a few, and having like a large fleet of like aircraft carriers that have maybe 8 or 10, but establishing them as like a perimeter around the country. I know that would be expensive, but honestly, we have the budget for it. We spend a shit ton of money.
Well, if you make them all if you make them all drone boats, it's not as bad.
Yeah.
Now let me pose another suggestion to you. You know how a tree shredder works, right? A chipper.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
a chipper.
Make that into a boat.
A boat chipper.
No,
you just deploy that.
I just had a fucking brainwave. So you know how we're getting rid of those big hovercraft things?
Neuron activation.
Yes. It's my turn for the brain cell. God damn it. No, but so you know the big hovercraft landing boats that we're getting rid of in the military? Dude, just fucking use those as drone carriers.
Yeah.
Because we're getting rid of them. Might as well. You can put them anywhere. They're fucking hovercraft. Not anywhere, but like effectively anywhere. Why not use those? Keep them going. Have them patrolling
They're
out there.
expensive to maintain.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. You're not wrong there. I don't know. There's got to be a way of doing it. But I would just like us to implement drone technology more for something like that. Especially when I'll be honest with you, I am more than happy to spend $5,000 or $10,000 on a drone to blow up one of those boats. Just to go, yeah, he's 50 miles over the line. We've told him 3 times. Kaboom. Yeah.
When you think
Give
about
him
it,
that chance, turn around.
you can take a commercial off the drone shelf and turn a $500 to $2,000 piece of technology and render up to a couple $1 million piece of equipment useless with one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's done right. So
Well, come on. How many years ago was it that they banned the PS3 from being used? And that was just because they included Linux
fucking
on it. So
Ukraine is using modified Steam Decks right now to control their
Right.
drones.
That's wild.
So I mean, it's not hard.
No.
I mean, for laymen, it's hard, but you got the right know-how.
I feel like maybe the method I'm describing would be far more palatable to people, or it would seem more compassionate. And I feel like that's the big problem. That being said, if I was a dictator or a ruler, there would be no warning. It would just be, you cross this line, I put buoys out in the water, you cross the line, and suddenly, miraculously, 50 feet past that line, you cease to exist. It would just be a hard no. But
look, mommy, there's a new bag of white powder that just washed up on shore.
Honestly, I feel like I'd be the asshole, and I'd take all the drugs from them and resell it to them full of other drugs that kills the people in the cartel.
Yeah.
I would absolutely just use biological warfare against them, you know?
I cast non-magic missile.
I just want to watch fireballs.
But
yes.
But no, it's besides that, what the hell else are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's really only so much you can do without taking out the supply chain overall.
Yeah,
and as long as there is an obscene amount of money in play, you know,
or
yes, tungsten rod.
Or hear me out. We just legalize a lot of drugs in the U.S. and don't allow any imports, and just move all manufacturing over here, and have them legalized and regulated.
Make it cheap.
Yeah. Why not?
Well, then we can make our own casino with
Yes.
blackjack and hookers.
Yes, Bender. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's the goal. You know, I'm just saying, because we have enough fucking land. We have enough. We need jobs anyway. We need manufacturing.
Mhm.
Like as it is, almost all of our medications are made overseas anyway. Why just say fuck it? Just bring it all back to the U.S.
Why get high with something Chinese made when you can get American brand and know you won't die the first time you take?
I want to snort dubby powder now.
Oh my god, that was random.
Ultimate brand support.
Oh my god. If you start showing up to shows with some white powder on your nose, act a little fucking
It's
freaky.
blue.
Oh.
It's blue.
So you're snorting Smurfs. All right, fair enough.
Yes.
To each their own.
Oh no, stuff in Ohio hit pretty hard.
Dude, those are the edibles from hell.
Jesus, that dude said these are a very good curator. These are very good. Wasn't lying. No, it hit harder than Will Smith.
So, all right. Well, guys, I think a little shorter than we intended, but still a good conversation on this one tonight.
Something different, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before we get into anything that's too spicy politically.
Politically heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, just a heads up, we will be touching some stuff that's going to be kind of later on in the season.
Yeah.
So
we're just gonna have to make sure that like the wording and the phrasing that we use is appropriate, because the internet likes to really nitpick your shit and just really particular. So we're still working on certain words and phrasing to describe certain things, because still got to make it somewhat advertiser friendly. You know, it's still somewhat friendly to watch. Because you don't want to have someone listen to this in the car, driving down the road, and listening to something like completely out of context, being like, "What the fuck?" You know?
Yeah,
that makes it the best. Are you kidding me?
While it's not related to the politics stuff, there's another podcast I listened to, and at one point they were discussing the existence of Bigfoot erotica, and they were reading this out on the podcast, and there was a listener who had stepped away from his van while this was going.
Oh no.
And he left the podcast running with his van locked up, and I guess he had the volume like way the fuck up. The reading of this thing, like the podcast host was like going into it, making all the fucking noises and shit. And he comes back out to his van, and there is a crowd around the van. And it's a work van.
Are they angry, or are they cheering and all?
They're laughing their asses off, standing there in total disbelief, listening to this story about a Bigfoot and a dude, because it was like homoerotic Bigfoot erotica.
Oh my!
And it was just like
that. Just sounds like someone that's too scared to come out of the closet.
Maybe, but yeah, like
or out of the woods.
Oh, it was exceedingly descriptive. And I mean, he just going all, you know? And I like the guy is like, I had to make a choice. Do I just walk back to my van or walk away from it and call it stolen?
Sorry, guys, that's me. That was not the topic of discussion today, guys. So trust me.
That person became a man when they were watching Star Wars. I could never think of Chewbacca any different. For some reason.
So, two quick questions on Chewbacca. One, does Chewbacca have two nips or does he have like the line just like a dog? And does Chewbacca have a regular wiener or does he have like one of those Red Rocket deals like a dog?
Oh my God, it's like you were just waiting to ask this.
How often do you think about Chewbacca's wiener?
None.
Right?
It just hit me.
I don't know. Well, it hit you really quick. That's concerning. So you're assuming it's not like a duck's. It's not like a corkscrew one. Yeah, that's what you're assuming. It doesn't spin me right round, baby. Yeah,
that's why the Wookiees have that built in.
Yeah. So you can hear it in stereo as they're going around.
Uh-huh.
Like a rotary
Jesus
cabinet.
Christ.
Oh, Jesus.
I just saw a picture, AI generated, of course, a shaved Wookiee. Looks like an ape-sized Sphinx cat.
Some weird woman would have that as a pet. There is a white woman out there somewhere being like, yes. A 500-pound
and we can't
Sphinx
paper
cat.
train it, so we're going to put a dapey on it.
Oh, no. A hairless
I shall
Chewbacca.
call it Mr. Bigglesworth.
Oh, God.
You have been a bad Wookiee, Mr. Bigglesworth. The fleshy
that
clap.
Oh, yeah, and it's like that character from Zootopia where he's got the deep voice, but he looks like a little baby with the little sucker in it. Oh, no. What?
You kiss me tomorrow, I'm going to smack you in the face.
Pineapple juice.
I'm so confused that there is that somebody makes that erotica.
I think there was only one issue produced.
I'm surprised.
I'm confused now. You're confused.
So
what's
the people we talk with?
So what trauma?
What's the internet rule? Like Rule 43 or something
34.
like that? If it exists,
34.
Yeah,
34.
If it exists, there's porn of it. So Bigfoot exists. Ergo, there is porn of Bigfoot.
I know I've mentioned this before, but what combination of trauma gets you to Chewie or fucking Wookiee porn? What trauma gets you to that one? Like,
I don't know, but check your inbox later.
Fuck you. No, don't you dare. Don't you dare. No. I know where you live, motherfucker. No. It's a long ass drive. But.
To get you there is going to be obviously a lot of medication and a therapy bill that's going to be astronomical.
How is a therapist? How do you take that seriously? Because I'm sorry, I have a pretty good poker face, but someone says I just can't stop jacking off to Wookiee porn. I just can't do it. Like how do you deal with that? There's no amount of training or education that can prepare you for that moment when that client looks like a regular normal fucking person, sits down, takes a deep breath, goes Wookiee porn.
I can't stop thinking about Wookiees.
There's no training.
This is probably the same therapist that has to deal with the person that comes in and goes, you know what? I like to eat poop.
They'd rather take the poop eater.
Yeah, they probably would. Yeah.
I also didn't know that was a thing. So that's a new.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
dude,
that's a new horror for you.
The Pickle Rick episode of Rick and Morty.
Oh
the
yes.
therapist was first dealing with the one teacher who eats poop.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah,
part.
that's the joke. That was the joke because people do weird shit.
Jesus, I thought that episode.
The moment you go behind someone's closed door, you find out a lot about them, and sometimes it is not good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the woman that was eating like couches was bad enough, but
no.
Oh no, buddy.
Oh, it gets worse. I watched a dude drink half a gallon of bleach just to get out of an arrest. Joke's on him. We still arrested him.
yeah, he just gets arrested in the hospital.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I found out what his stomach bile, insides of your stomach look like, all mixed with bleach. It's disgusting.
Uh-huh.
I don't recommend.
So Gibbs, you can add the Wookiee porn to your search history of porn and depression.
Fuck you. No, I never searched that. I don't know why it was there. It still to this day, every once in a while, that pops in my head, going, "I wonder why that was even in that search bar." I couldn't even tell you.
Oh, good times,
man.
When you see an industrial sized sex swing in someone's bedroom, yeah, it's time to go.
No. So okay, I have the plans to make them, and I want to make some of those beds that have like the secret handcuff points and chain points and the little the stockade footboard.
Yeah, they make clip-ons.
Yeah.
Like you can clip those onto your bed frame. Like that's not a.
Yeah, no, I want to go full bore, make them industrial grade.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, like I was just describing, where it was a large person who decided they had to have a sex swing in the room.
Mm-hmm.
It had big chains.
Yeah, well,
and I was not comfortable.
I am familiar with some people who could use industrial beds because they like to break them. So some industrial beds could be fun.
That's why,
especially when there's built-in accoutrements.
That's why I have accoutrements. That's our lessons at the third one. We had learned that maybe this is necessary.
Hey, I wasn't trying to point out.
Hey, it was worth it. Hey, I have no shame. It was worth it. Let me tell you.
Can go to a hardware store and add attachments yourself. So,
yep.
Hey, if you need a few C-clamps for your bed every once in a while, it's fine. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get them cheap at Harbor Freight too. They're worth it.
Oh yeah. So now that we've traumatized everybody and lost half our listening base, I think we can call it for the night.
I don't know. I think Wookiee porn would have really had a lot of listening retention right there. Yeah, that's gonna be a tagline on this one. AI is gonna look at that and be like, politics, drugs, cartels, Wookiee porn. What the fuck? There's someone giving AI whiplash over here.
Possible ban invader monitoring.
Yeah, get rid of them. Ban hammer.
Yes.
Okay, so, but we can call it there, and thank you guys again for listening.
Yeah.
Again, we'll drop the link for Dubby in the show description, as well as the link for the store there. We're going to have our own merch store coming out soon, because apparently that's a thing that needs to happen.
I would like to.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to own my own shirt.
Fuck yeah.
Well, I already contacted a company about the jerseys for next year, so.
Nice.
Nice.
I have a buddy of mine that does it for his fantasy league, so let's see if at least us three should be able to get our own custom jerseys.
Oh, nice. That should
so
be
once I get some pricing, that's what I'm waiting on. So.
Yep. We need those for the live show.
Yes.
Fuck, I'll wear mine around town. I don't give a shit.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I do want to start in and get stickers to promote the show a little bit more too. So those will come out first.
With
and yes, and I think we're going to do something akin to like a Patreon or like a buy me a coffee type link. And if anybody signs up to that or donates, they're going to get a sticker sent out to them.
Yes.
So it'll be something along those lines, and we'll give them a shout out on the show.
Oh yeah, well,
something just to kind of thank people for the support.
Jersey taglines. Yeah, that is WTF is wrong with these people. Yeah, that's pretty good too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get to work on some merch stuff and a few other things, especially going into the holidays. So then we'll all have some days off.
Yes. So yeah, thanks again for hanging out, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the show and are not too traumatized by the Wookiee porn. But
remember, kids, it's not trauma if it's consensual.
That's true.
That's right.
So we'll catch y'all again next time, and we love you.